As Mike Trout just told me, this is great weather for a baseball game. Let's just hope the rain holds off. As for Trout, Angels fans held their collective breath on Sunday when he was hit in the hand by a 94-mile-an-hour pitch. He was out of the lineup on Sunday, but right back in there on Tuesday. Now, he started the season 6 for 13 with 2 home runs. He's cooled off a bit at the plate since, but when a 3-time MVP says he feels like he's back, the baseball world better take notice. Trout came into this spring rejuvenated and healthy for the first time in really a long time. He said those lower body injuries that troubled him the last 2 years really took a lot out of him, especially at the plate. He was never fully comfortable last year, primarily as the DH, which was really to keep him healthy, but he said he feels better when he's in center field taking away hits. Right now, Mike, you feel better when you are out there stealing hits from guys. We're going to start with the hand, though. How's the hand feeling?
Hand's doing good. You know, when it happened, it didn't look good at all. Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. So just dodged a bullet. You know, God is great. So looking over me for sure. So it's just good to be able to go out there and just play my game.
All right, you said last year you felt a turnaround when adjustments that you were making in the cage you started to see on the field. What clicked for you?
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, you feel so good in the cage, you know, off the machine, off, you know, BP, and it's good to see results in the game. And, you know, it's obviously early in the year, first couple of games, you know, felt really good. You know, searching a little bit the last few games, but it's baseball. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, staying positive, trusting the routine, and good things will happen.
So what does a full, healthy Mike Trout year look like for you?
I wouldn't put any numbers on it. I just want to go out there, have fun, you know, and hopefully try to get the Angels to the playoffs.
All right, I heard you say something that some parenting advice that you got has helped you in baseball. It's that time flies and you really need to soak it all in. How has that helped you in baseball?
Oh, huge. You know, I came into spring training this year just trying to slow everything down. It's you know, people going to me, yo, what opening day is this for you? And you know, it's 16. I'm like, wow, where's time going? So you know, I'm seeing that with my kids now, how fast they're growing up. I'm trying to enjoy every minute of it. You know, these are the best days of my life. Just seeing my kids grow up and you know, building a family with my beautiful wife. And you know, just like I said, just slowing everything down, enjoying the game. You know, never take it for granted, putting a uniform on every single day. And you know, I feel great out there having fun. And it's good to be able to, you know, go to the outfield too, just in case if you're not getting hits in the box, you get to rob some hits out in the outfield. So it's been fun.
That is a lot of fun. You look happy, you look healthy, Mike, and that is dangerous for the baseball world. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Trout and the Angels going to have their work cut out for them against Chase Burns tonight. He is off to a great start as well. We're going to take a quick break here from the Queen City. We'll be back with Ellie De La Cruz on the other side right after this quick break.
Let's go.
Again near the foul pole, leaping up. Did he catch it again? They called him out. He did it again. And the Reds win. Dave Myers delivers.
Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear as we take a look at our Goodyear drone cam over this beautiful ballpark in downtown Cincinnati. Great American ballpark where the Angels and Reds meet tonight. Reds superstar shortstop Elly De La Cruz waits to take the field, standing by with Heidi Watney.
Elly, Tito has talked about how you have matured as a base runner. You're not stealing bases just for numbers anymore. You're running to win the game. How did that change for you?
Yeah, a lot through the years. We want to win games, so we want to do the best we can to win the games. So we got to be smart.
You got some experience last year in the postseason. How has that helped you for this year?
It helped a lot because we see a little bit. We wish we stay longer, but this year we're going to make something happen.
All right, thanks, Elly.
Thank you. Thank you.
There goes Elly De La Cruz to his position at shortstop. Well, at the very least, it's been a very good defensive Cincinnati team. Eugenio Suarez made an error at third base yesterday, the first error by a Reds position player this season. So they have been able to pick the ball up behind their pitchers, and their pitcher tonight, a pretty good one, at least one that's blossoming in Chase Brown.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. I mean, look, 2 starts already, 1-0, 11 innings, 16 punch-outs. This is a second overall pick in 2024 out of Wake Forest. We're going to see 100 miles an hour. We're going to see that wipeout slider, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Here's a StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Let's take a look at his pitches, right? Talk about that four-seamer. He's going to throw about 57%. That slider, that's a wipeout. We're going to see a ton of that. And he, once in a while, he'll throw that changeup just to keep lefties and righties honest. But no question about it, Tito said it. When he gets ahead, he stays ahead, and he wipes out all the hitters.
Zach Neto will lead things off for the Angels against Burns here tonight. Chase Burns with 73 strikeouts in his first 10 major league starts. That's the most by any Cincinnati Red, going all the way back to Gary Nolan in 1967, the #2 pick of the draft. And with Hunter Green out and with Nick Lodolo out, the Reds are certainly hoping that Burns can carry them in the rotation for now, along with some of the others. This is a good pitching staff that Cincinnati has put together. It is Neto leading off. He's always dangerous in that #1 spot as he takes ball 1 on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Burns. Neto with his 11 leadoff homers since the beginning of last year. Only Shohei Ohtani has more. That's a strike right in there from Burns. Neto has a .538 on base percentage in his leadoff the game plate appearances so far this year.
Top 5 shortstop in the game for me in my eyes.
Well, he won't get an argument from me. Zach Neto has certainly turned into an all-around great player as he cuts through that fastball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Neto has put together a couple of 20-20 seasons, even a 25-25 season, and he's thinking 30-30 might be the next one around the corner.
Well, Burns likes to throw that slider off the plate. That's where you want to go. Neto looks to always pull the baseball. See if we see one here.
Likes to hit the ball way out in front too, especially on the off-speed pitch. Burns doesn't throw anything but that slider off speed, really, especially to a right-hander, and it's the high heater there to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's been trying to work in that changeup more to lefties, and lefties have hurt him a lot more than right-handers have in the early part of his career. 2-2 pitch, and Neto does wipe out on the slider. That's what it's for. The 56% whiff rate, and Burns has his first strikeout tonight.
I mean, that slider is just unhittable, right? See some of the best when they have that high octane velocity at 100 miles an hour. You get a slider at around 90, 91 miles an hour. It's just a tough pitch to lay off and a tough pitch to square up. But you talked about it, right? Right-handed batters are hitting 194. Left-handed batters are hitting 252.
Here's Trout fouling one off, and the OPS numbers are certainly a lot different. As you see, the slider has been his wipeout pitch, but in his career so far, OPS for lefties about 300 points higher than right-handers. Pretty significant difference. Well, here's one of the greatest right-handed hitters to ever live as Mike Trout bats, and even he can't touch that slider. It's 0-2. Trout's in the middle of a slump, 2 for his last 29. That was after a red-hot opening series in Houston. Some cold weather, a hit by pitch on the hand. A couple of things slowing down Trout after that really good first few games. He makes contact there on the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It is just rock and fire for Chase Burns.
It sure is. I like how he's going to the top of the zone with Mike Trout. I mean, look, that's where you get the whiffs, right? Last 9 games, 3 for 33, 68 swings, 18 whiffs at the top of the zone.
It's a little rainy right now, a little misty. It's going to be like that for a little bit throughout the night. 0-2. Trout, it's chopper to Ellie De La Cruz. So the superstar's involved here, and it's De La Cruz with the throw to retire Trout. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the first. We'll show you the rest of the Angels lineup, brought to you by BetMGM. With the showstopper on Saturday night at Angel Stadium, Joe Adell batting in the number 6 spot. Adell's on a 5-game hitting streak. He hit 37 home runs last year, but he robbed 3 in 1 game the other night against the Seattle Mariners. A historic outfield defensive performance by Adell. Nolan Shotwell fouls one behind home plate. No balls and a strike, and we'll see one of a few lefties in this Angels lineup tonight. Shotwell left-handed, Moncada switch hitter, Josh Lowe lefty, and Frazier a left-hander as well, getting a start at second base tonight. So these will be the guys that will have to try to challenge Chase Burns tonight. And if you look at those righty-lefty splits, and there's a strike right at the knees at 100 again.
If you want to get him, you got to swing early, right? You're going to get a fastball at some point in the at-bat. You want to have any type of success, it's got to start happening early in the at-bat. Right now, 0-2. Burns has him where he wants him.
Would you just sell out on the fastball in most cases?
Without 2 strikes, absolutely.
2 strikes here. Shotwell fouls one back. Nolan, one of the more difficult hitters to strike out in all of baseball. Doesn't chase a lot. Shotwell typically puts the ball in play. Burns
one
with
thing
1
we've
strikeout
seen
already.
with him is, too, the middle of the lineup, not much damage against Burns so far early this year. 2, 3, 4. They're having a really tough time barreling him.
It's 0-2 here, and a foul at home plate keeps it that way. No balls and 2 strikes on Shotwell. You see those chase, whiff, and strikeout numbers all favorable to the point that Nolan Shotwell will make contact more often than not.
You sure will. Doesn't chase a whole ton. Gap-to-gap guy, but the identity, right? Who is he? Is he a guy that's going to be that 20 to 25 home run guy, or is he going to be a guy that's going to hit 290, 280, 300?
0-2 as Shotwell does ground one to first base here, and it's Sal Stewart to make the pickup and take it to the bag for 1-2-3, top of the first for the very exciting Chase Burns.
Aces yarder.
So the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds brought to you by BetMGM. It's been the lowest scoring offense in the major league so far, but the excitable Elly De La Cruz hits third. Sal Stewart off to an incredible start to his rookie year, batting in the cleanup spot for Terry Francona's Cincinnati Reds, a playoff team last year. They won 83 games, making the last wild card spot in the National League, as we see Jack Kohanowitz trying to improve upon some numbers that certainly showed a struggle in 2025 as he gets this first pitch to be flied to left off the bat of TJ Friedl. Josh Lowe puts that away, so it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Kohanowitz, who's made some improvements to his pitch mix, his arm angle. StatCast powered by Google Cloud showing Kohanowitz getting it done a little bit differently this year.
Yeah, he's definitely a ground ball pitcher. His sinker, it's something we're going to see a ton of. The changeup as well. He'll throw that to righties and lefties. The four-seamer is more to get that strikeout at the top of the zone. And at times we'll see some sliders. Not too many times. His weapon is that fastball and that changeup.
Here's Matt McLean, the second baseman for the Reds, takes a strike. The one that might have been able to be challenged there with the home plate umpire James Jean behind the plate today. But you know, Terry Francona was talking to us before the game today as McLean hits a ground ball to second base. Frazier scoots over to make that play and throw out McLean. 2 up, 2 down. Terry saying to us, well, every night we seem to be facing a starting pitcher throwing 95 plus. Well, you know, gee golly, Terry, you know, it's another one here tonight because Jack Kohanowitz does too.
Welcome to the big leagues in 2026, huh? Everybody's throwing 100. Once you get into that bullpen, then his specialty's throwing 100. So yeah, it's a tough picking right now to be a hitter in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Kurt Suzuki said the same thing earlier, and he said, you know, retiring when I did in 2022 is probably a good idea. Guys have only thrown harder since I last played.
I'll tell you this, I felt the same way in 2021 when I retired.
Here's De La Cruz showing bunt and taking ball 1, but as Logan O'Hoppe is off to do, he is going to challenge early in this game. James Jean is the home plate umpire, as I mentioned, and it looks like O'Hoppe might actually lose this one. Angels challenge is powered by T-Mobile, and it is a ball. Have to adjust your eyes with all 6'6" of Elly De La Cruz.
A little different, right?
1 ball, no strikes the count. So the Angels now just 1 challenge remaining for the rest of the game. As De La Cruz looks at a strike right on the edge of the outside corner. It's a rare lost challenge for O'Hoppe. He has won 10 of the 13 challenges behind the plate, as he's been able to have more overturns than any catcher in the major leagues. 2 balls, 1 strike now on De La Cruz.
We talked to Kurt Suzuki about Kohanowitz, and it's like, you know, he's a sinker baller, and I'm like, it's a sinker baller. He throws 96 to 98 miles an hour. Back then, 10 years ago, that would have been a strikeout elite stuff right there. But his stuff is really, really good. He's made some adjustments too with his arm angle, allowing him to throw much harder.
3 balls and a strike on De La Cruz, hitting just .231 to start the year. So he fouls one off. He does have a few home runs and a few stolen bases. Only 5 Reds have hit home runs to begin the year.
Yeah, that's for me, Elly De La Cruz. You got him on a 3-1 count right there. You get a good pitch to hit on a fastball and you miss it, right? That's been kind of the slow start for him where I've seen on the left-handed side. A lot of foul balls.
It's 3-2. And there's ball 4, so De La Cruz will have a chance to run perhaps with Sal Stewart coming up for Cincinnati. Mentioned O'Hoppe, StatCast powered by Google Cloud. A lot of his challenges have been successful. Hey, we even got the avatar there to tap his helmet.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of pitches down in the zone too, and Suzuki said, hey, go ahead. If you feel like you've got it, you've got all the will, green light to go ahead and challenge pitches.
So here is the cleanup hitter for the Reds, their rookie first baseman. Stewart swings at the first pitch, chops it to Moncada at third, who backs up and fires to second for the force out to end the inning. A couple of zeros on each side, scoreless after 1 in Cincinnati. Is presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. I think 70 and a little mist here and there on a Friday night in April in Cincinnati. It certainly could be a lot worse weather-wise here tonight. Fairly warm, and Jorge Soler has heated up over his last several games. He's always hit well in this ballpark. It's always been a favorable ballpark to hitters. Soler swings and foul tips for strike one. Still no resolution yet on his suspension appeal from that fight the other night with Ronaldo Lopez at Angel Stadium, but it'll be coming soon, and imagine by the early part of next week. Lopez had his suspension knocked down to 5 games, which for a starting pitcher ends up really being nothing. And Soler chops one foul. It's a lot more punitive to the Angels, though, as they'll be missing their cleanup hitter for however long it is.
He's been one of their hotter bats too, and in a place like this, a series like this in Cincinnati, the ball tends to fly a little bit more. Missing him will be crucial.
Soler's a 5-game hitting streak, 6 hits, 2 home runs in that time. As he takes in the dirt from Burns, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We know the power is there. 48 home runs as a member with the Royals in 2019 out of La Habana, Cuba.
Both of these teams could use some offense. Neither has hit much. Cincinnati batting just .208 as a team. The Angels hitting just .201, and they strike out a lot. They lead the major leagues in punch-outs as they did last year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soler, one of just 7 Cuban-born players to hit 200 home runs. Hit his 200th in Atlanta last year. A big cut at that fastball.
Part of the plate right there. And that's what makes Burns so special, right? When you got 100 miles an hour, it's hard to square up. You get a fastball middle for a guy like Soler. Usually he doesn't miss that. You got a wipeout slider. Oh, you just don't know what you're going to get. That's why you get so many foul balls. That's why you get so many whiffs. I mean, this stuff is real.
It certainly is. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count here on Soler. Breaking ball is in there for strike 3. So that time not a swing and a miss, but a 3rd strike nonetheless. Second punch out for Burns. He's retired the first 4 in a row. Not too bad of a night here in Cincinnati. Let's go downstairs to the 3rd member of our crew. Here's Heidi Watney.
Yeah, beautiful shot there. We're going to take a look at the weather report presented by Ricola. Now, I talked to the grounds crew. Those are the weather experts here. They said we're going to have scattered showers off and on until about 10 p.m. tonight, but it shouldn't affect play. We should be able to play through it, guys.
Well, that's what we want to hear as Yohan Moncada stands in and takes ball 1.
I'll tell you what, as a hitter, you do not like to have this missed. Trying to hit off a guy in Burns, water's getting in your eyes, can't see the baseball as well. You got everything working out against you if you're a hitter.
Yohan Moncada has not had much success in the early part of this year. He's 0 for his last 15. Just off the outside corner from Burns. Moncada overall just 3 hits in his first 36 at bats. One of them is a home run. Count is 3-0 here. Moncada takes ball 4. So it's a 4-pitch walk, and the first base runner allowed by Burns, who typically doesn't issue many walks. Look at his rookie season last year, only 16 walks with 67 strikeouts, although now he does have 5 in his first 12 innings this year.
Well, so far this offense has been swinging early. I wouldn't expect anything else to change. You get a fastball, you've got to go.
Nice start to the year for Joe Adell. We showed you his 3 home run robberies the other night against the Mariners. He takes ball 1 here on a check swing. Also has a 5-game hitting streak with 9 hits in that time. He's batting .320, although the power hasn't quite been there yet. A 37 homer season last year. He only has 1 extra base hit. It was a home run so far this year. He's not barreling the ball quite as much. But he does hammer this one out toward right center field pretty deep. Friedel is back. He's near the wall, and he has just enough room to make the catch. So Adell flirting with extra bases there. Flies out to a win.
Just a really good swing right there. Gets a fastball on a 1-0 count. Might have to do a couple more push-ups. It's a good swing right there. Short, compact, 2-hand finish. He thought he had it. Just missed it.
102 miles an hour off the bat.
Taking off his grip. He didn't like it in his first at bat. I used to do that all the time too. Switch bats. Switch batting gloves.
Bill kind of tinkers with his stances and where he's using, how he's using his legs. I mean, he's kind of a tinkerer up there anyway. The ball's in a strike on Josh Lowe, the left fielder for the Angels. He taps one down the third base side and has a base hit. Moncada will stop at second base. So the two Angels that have been struggling the most offensively, both hitting under 100 to start the year, are on base here in the second inning.
That's good living right there, right? Seeing a deep, little tardy right there. Good hitters tend to find holes. If you're getting it past that guy right there, you're doing something special.
So runners on first and second as Logan O'Hoppe stands in. Takes ball one from Burns.
O'Hoppe hitting at a 333 mark on fastballs. 250 with runners in scoring position. So this is the time you're going to get a fastball. You got to be going.
Early scoring chance for the Angels, albeit with 2 outs against Burns. The breaking ball misses. So up to this point, runs have been a premium against Chase Burns. He's only allowed 1 in his first 2 starts. Picked up his first major league victory in his opening start of the year against the Pirates. Even with his success in terms of strikeouts last year, he never won an actual decision in his rookie year. O'Hoppe lines one to left field, has a base hit. Moncada gets to third base. He's being waved home. Here comes a throw from Steer. It's cut off, and Moncada dives back safely to third. So the bases are loaded. It looked to be at first that Moncada was being waved home, and then as Steer quickly got that ball in, the brakes were put on. Moncada alertly gets back.
I just don't think he broke off. It felt like he thought he was going to get the stop sign. Third base coach, though, Keith Johnson, he was going to wave him on. Good heads up play there by Moncada.
Reds, are they asking for any sort of challenge? I wonder if actually Terry Francona is asking if Keith Johnson, the third base coach of the Angels, made any contact with Moncada there, which you're not allowed to do. I don't know that we saw any on that replay we just showed.
I don't think so.
But it doesn't seem to be a replay necessarily that Francona is asking for. Let's see again here as Moncada. It looked like they were all that close to each other. Moncada clearly back in safely on the dive. So not sure what Terry Francona wants, but the umpires are huddling up. I wonder if that's the third base umpire kind of in some way getting in the way there. Let's see. It might have been a little close to contact between the coach and the player there, but I don't think there's anything that we could tell one way or the other there. So the Angels will continue on here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and it's Adam Frazier at the plate. It's kind of the worst scenario for Chase Burns in some ways. It's a lefty who makes a lot of contact.
Slick grass right now. It's been hazing a little bit. Good speed.
One ball, no strikes on Frazier, and he takes ball 2 upstairs. This is where Terry Francona doesn't want Burns to live. Those 2-0, 3-0 counts. He says when Burns is flowing, he's throwing strikes earlier in counts. He falls behind here against Adam Frazier, 2-0. Now it is 3-0.
Now you can keyhole him, right? Now you can wait for a strike. You can possibly wait for 2 strikes. It's been a little bit wild in this inning, and for a guy like this, it's usually early in the game. You don't let him get settled. Once he gets settled, it's pretty much good night. You get him those first 2 innings. Those are the times that you can get a guy like Chase Burns.
Walk and 2 singles have loaded the bases, and now Frazier takes a strike right at the top of the zone. Everything from Chase Burns is 98 plus. 3-1 now, and Frazier takes ball 4. So Burns, with his second walk of the inning, walks home a run, and the Angels take a 1-0 lead.
I would think a mound visit would be crucial right now. Kind of slow him down a little bit. Settle down. You can tell he's trying to overthrow a bit. It's a great mound visit right here. Look at the reaction right there. You can tell he's laboring a little bit with his command. If you're a hitter, though, Wayne, you're taking full advantage of it, right? You're going to keyhole him. It's got to be right down the middle for you to go. And you're looking at a guy in Zach Neto who likes to swing early, at fastballs middle in.
Derek
He's looking
Johnson.
for one pitch.
That certainly is. Derek Johnson, the pitching coach for the Reds, done with his mound visit as Burns has thrown 23 pitches in this inning, 14 out of the strike zone. A couple of walks, couple of hits, and the Angels have their first run. Now looking for the big inning with their leadoff batter, Zach Neto, at the plate.
3 home runs this year on fastballs.
See a big one here from Burns. At least once he gets around to it. It was a first pitch slider, though, to keep Neto honest.
I would be careful as well. He's so on top of the plate, too, which is it's just daring you.
Rounds this one to the left side. It's handled by Hayes, who gets the force out at second base, and that ends the innings. The Angels settle for 1. They take a 1-0 lead.
Here's a look at our home field advantage presented by Zillow. When Eugenio Suarez came to Great American Ballpark as a visiting Diamondback last year, he told me this was his favorite place to play. You're looking at his first home run from this year. He said his daughter always asked him when they would get to come back. He did come back, signed a 1-year free agent contract for $15 million, and Gino brings some much-needed power. The last Reds player to hit at least 30 homers in a season was him back in 2021. Gino has 103 career home runs in this ballpark. That's good for 5th most in the park's history, guys.
So homecoming for Suarez, just as it was last year when he was traded back to Seattle by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you know, he was helpful to that Mariner team as they came the closest they've ever come to the World Series. Over 300 in the ALCS against Toronto. 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll DH most of the time for the Reds, although he played third base yesterday and subsequently made the only position player error that a Red has made so far this year. They've been a very good defensive team. It's this one the other way and through for a base hit. So Suarez gets on a leadoff single here in the second, but with Brian Hayes, a Gold Glove winner at third base, Suarez will settle into this DH role.
And that's what Tito was talking about, right? Saying, hey, we'll take whatever he gives us offensively. And Brian Hayes, take a look at that swing right there. A guy who doesn't necessarily go the other way a whole lot. Stays on this pitch, drives it the other way for a knock. Says we'll get Ke'Bryan Hayes as much as we can offensively, but defensively he's been the best I've ever seen, which is high remarks from a guy that's been around for a long time.
Here's Spencer Steer as he looks at strike one. Spear is from SoCal. He's from Long Beach, California. Went to Millikan High School there, so certainly a special moment for guys like Steer and McLean, who are from Southern California playing the Angels, although they'll get the trip back home to face the Angels next year. The Reds are the home team in their matchup this season. Steer's had 3 straight 20-homer years. He's been a fairly steady force in the middle part of the order for Cincinnati the last few seasons as he swings through this, and it's 0-2.
Took a chance right there. We've seen him at first base, left field, right field. He's been all over the field for the Reds.
Reds have pretty well steadied their defensive alignment now. You know, injury permitting. The infield is pretty set. That's why Suarez is DHing, as we mentioned. Steer will have his place in left field.
Yeah.
They're not moving guys around as much as they were before.
And I think it's because of Sal Stewart. What he's done at first base defensively. You know what he's done with the bat, but defensively he's been outstanding.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Steer. It's a fly ball to right center. This is hit well. Trout's back though and has some room on the warning track to make the catch. Steer gave that a ride, but he's the first out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Will Benson, the right fielder tonight for the Reds. One thing Cincinnati can do is move guys in and out. Benson, one of those platoon type players, along with Dane Myers, another outfielder that can do the same, and Noelvi Marte, who's been off to a slow start.
Loves the fastball.
Always feels like Benson will find his way on a highlight show once or twice a week.
Man.
He'll do something spectacular, hit some long homer, make some great play.
He's wearing a baseball uniform, but boy, he looks like a tight end, huh?
Yeah, or even a power forward in the NBA. I mean, he's a big guy, and he has incredible talent. He just has not been a consistent enough everyday player.
More about approach than the talent. We know it's there.
1 ball, 1 strike on Benson as this one goes off the glove of Hoppy and will allow Suarez to take second base. If that's a passed ball or a wild pitch, either way it's a man in scoring position for Benson. His first big league home run was a walk-off, and he was revved up for it in June of a few years ago, ending that ball game here at Great American Ballpark. Fouls this one at home plate 2-2. They didn't call that last one a wild pitch. That got by O'Hoppy.
Benson's made some mechanical changes, lowering his hands. Early on when he came into the league, his hands were a lot higher. A little lower now, a little bit better rhythm. Timing has been there. The biggest key for him is swinging at the right pitches, especially with 2 strikes.
Swings and misses here. Kohanowitz gets him with the changeup, which has become much more of a go-to pitch for Kohanowitz. He strikes out Benson, and that's the second out here in the second inning.
It's a harder style changeup, 91 to 92 miles an hour. Gets over it right there. You see the late swing, the late action right there. Out in front, just a really good pitch. He's got 96, 97 in the tank as well. You got to respect it.
Here's Tyler Stevenson, the Reds catcher. Kohanowitz using that changeup to tunnel more off of his sinker. He's thrown it twice as much as he did last year to this point.
One of the better pitching coaches in the game, Mike Maddox. Great hire by the Angels this year. He was with the Rangers.
Stevenson fouls this one away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Mike Maddox, you could argue, was the Angels' biggest offseason pickup. A lot of talented pitchers, plus more on the way in their farm system. So the Halos really needed someone like this come in and teach these guys how to pitch more effectively at this level.
Like the Rangers in ERA last year.
1 ball, 1 strike. As Stevenson lifts one to right. That's the jet stream here. But Joe Adell has some room, stepping onto the track to end the inning. Leadoff base hit, and that was it. Suarez left at second. 1-0 Angels. Baseball on Apple TV presented by Verilux Lenses with Yonder Alonso and Heidi Watney. I'm Wayne Randazzo. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati where Mike Trout is back in center field for the Angels here tonight. And Trout with Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. right alongside him certainly has already cemented himself as one of the greatest center fielders in Major League history.
16 seasons. He says he feels like himself again. Kurt Suzuki was saying, he said to us earlier today, sometimes he has to remind him, hey, don't forget, you are Mike Trout. You are the guy still.
Yeah, you forget it because he was so young when he came to the major leagues. He was still a teenager. He lines this one out to right center field pretty deep. It's Friedel back for it, out near the wall, and he leaps out, makes the catch right at the top of the fence in right center. He saves at least 2 bases and maybe 4 with that catch off the bat of Trout.
Wow. Just absolutely wow. Takes that first step. Knows where the wall's at. Just robs it from Mike Trout. Unbelievable catch. Well, we've seen him do that time and time again here.
And Shonowell fouls one off. Hard to tell if that ball for sure would have gone over, but at the very least an extra base hit pulled away from Trout as he gave that one a ride out toward right center field. Bidding for his 407th career home run, which would tie him with Duke Snider on the all-time home run list. 1 ball, 1 strike. But the point about Trout coming up as a teenager, and you mentioned his 16th year now in the major leagues. He's still only 34 years old. He still could have some good years left.
You look at the active position of players of WAR, he's the leader, right? Then it's Mookie Betts, then Freddie Freeman. He's missed so much time, but he's got an 87.9 WAR. He doesn't miss all those times. He's at 100.
Yeah, he's already right up against George Brett in the all-time WAR list. So he's
special.
A one ballot, no doubt Hall of Famer. And Shonowell takes ball 3.
It's a big inning for Chase Burns, right? Threw a lot of pitches. He's to attack. 3-1 count once again, Wayne.
It's a fly ball towards shallow right. Didn't quite make it to the outfield as Stewart grabs that 2 outs. Well, Trout has certainly had his own home run robberies in the past. We flash you back to Baltimore early in his career, and Air Trout going high over the wall at Camden Yards.
No better place to rob a home run. Boy, that was his welcome to the big leagues moment, huh? In center field defensively.
2 out with the bases empty here as Soler stands in. Struck out his first time. And whiffs on the slider in this second at bat of the day for Soler. Just 2 strikeouts in the first 2 2/3 innings for Burns. Look at this Angel lineup, and a team that strikes out quite a lot against a strikeout heavy pitcher in Burns, and it hasn't quite matched up that way early on. 2 sliders for 2 strikes on the big man Soler.
Those are the better sliders he's thrown so far today. I mean, it's knee high, you think it's a fastball, and then it just falls off the table. I would repeat it.
Might as well. 2 awkward swings from it. And he tried, but that one too much in the dirt, and Soler laid off.
You talk to Soler, his approach is right, and he's going to right center. He's able to stay on pitches better. Saw what he did in the World Series with the Braves. MVP.
Reaches out and lines this one over third for a base hit down the left field side. Steer goes to get it. Soler heads for second base, and he'll have a 2-out double. Slider stayed up enough for Soler to wrap his big arms around it and yank it into the left field corner.
He's just so strong, right? A little bit fooled. High leg kick. Just stays enough on it. Man. Just don't realize how big he is. When you get him in front of you, you're like, this is a big human.
Gigantic. I remember watching him in the Midwest League, and he looked exactly like this.
Just like that. He hasn't changed a bit. That's what it is, Wayne. It's the Cuban in us.
I guess so. Strike to Moncada, another Cuban at the plate. Moncada talked about, and you could probably relate how much it meant to him to play for Cuba in the WBC.
Yeah, absolutely. You only get a few chances to wear a uniform.
That's right in there from Burns, and it's 0-2. Moncada walked and scored in the second.
Remember Moncada with Boston when he first came in as the international draftee, all the hype with him.
He was the #1 prospect in all of baseball at one point. Off his hands, he pops it up, shallow left. This might drop. In comes Steer. It's a base hit. Steer tried to barehand it, but he couldn't grab it. Soler scores easily, and Yoan Moncada with a bloop single gives the Angels a 2-0 lead.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You get a fastball right there. And I was thinking the slider was in play. It's the wipeout pitch. It's the whiff pitch. Throws him a fastball, and Moncada just does enough of it. With 2 outs, Soler has no need to stop. He's just got to keep going. Once he sees that ball land, he's got to be able to score.
So strike to Joe Adell, who flied out to deep center his first time. Yoan Moncada 3 for his first 36, but tonight a walk and a run scored. Now an RBI single on a bloop, and now he's taking off for second as Adell shoots one in the air deep right. Benson is back. He's near the wall, and he makes the catch. So Adell has flied out twice to a couple of warning tracks today. Mike Trout got robbed of an extra base hit to start the inning. TJ Friedel with a great grab. The Angels did score a run, and they have a 2-0 lead. Formula One brings the heat to Yonder Alonso's backyard, South Beach, the Miami Grand Prix. Don't miss any of the drama and thrilling wheel-to-wheel action. Watch it live Sunday, May 3rd, 4 p.m. Eastern on Apple TV, the new U.S. home of Formula One.
I've been there a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like a lot. You mean South Beach or just the Grand Prix itself?
The Grand Prix.
1 ball, no strikes on Brian Hayes. There's strike one over the inside corner. Hayes has not hit much yet this season. He's just 3 for 31, does not have an extra base hit. We talked about it briefly earlier. This is an outstanding third baseman. As Hayes hits a chopper to short, Neto comes in to grab the high hop, 1 away. So there's more patience for a guy like that because he's saving you so many runs at third base. And as you said, Tito called him the best defensive third baseman he's ever seen.
Yeah, it's the second week of the season as well, right? Anything we can get from a guy like Brian Hayes is going to be a plus offensively, but defensively, he's one of the best. Tito talked about that. And you just hope that you get even just a slight percentage of a tick of what he's done offensively in the past. It'll be a plus for this Reds team.
Ball one to TJ Friedl, who now has had 49 at bats this year without an extra base hit. That's tied with Julio Rodriguez for the most in the major leagues. Terry Francona said Friedl had a really good spring. It just hasn't carried over. As a strike lands from
He
Kohanowitz.
talked about shifting the field a little bit. You know, he's put a lot of balls in play, and when he doesn't put them in play, there are a lot of hook foul balls. Once he stays to the middle part of the field, good things are happening for him.
Don't forget too, he can steal some base hits on the ground. He had a lot of bunt base hits last year.
4 infield singles already this year.
So that's an element of Friedel's game that can maybe get a guy going. As Kohanowitz misses with ball 3.
He's the perfect leadoff guy. Sees a lot of pitches. For the most part, gets into good counts.
Kind of Brett Butler-ish in that regard, although he said Lenny Dykstra is a kindred spirit in the terms of the way that he plays overall. Swing and a miss here, and it's 3-2.
That's a good 2-seamer right there. Just fell off right out of the table. You think you're on it, you think you're going to barrel it, then it just dives away from you.
Matt McClain on deck. 3-2 the count on Friedl. Kohanowitz has only allowed 1 hit first time through the order. Wave and a miss, strike 3. A couple of good 2-seamers back to back as Kohanowitz comes back from 3-1 to strike out Friedl. Well, score big on authentic gear. MLBshop.com. Official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies. We've got the season covered. Scan the QR code right there. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team's gear. That's the new Red City Connect. They're going to debut it tomorrow against the Angels in Game 2 of this series. And, you know, I like that one because it's red. They are the Reds. What the all-black one? I don't know.
I love them too. Sweet lids.
Yeah.
All the uniforms that they've brought out this year are pretty sweet. Padres have a new one. Royals.
Padres,
Rangers.
Dia de los Muertos. Inspiration to them. Those
How about the Braves? The powder blues.
Cool, throwback in some ways.
Very.
They used to wear those. Not sure where the Brewers were going with the Wisco on the front of the jersey, though.
To be determined.
Yeah, well, I determined that I'm not sure. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that just missed. Remember, the Angels already used up a challenge, so those close ones are going to be probably kept in their pocket until later.
Suzuki talked about that. I like to keep one till the end of the game, just to let the umpire know we still have one.
2 balls and 1 strike, and a chopper to third, easy for Moncada near the bag. Slings it across. Shonowell redirects his feet to hold the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 third for Jack Kohanowitz.
You here with Tito Francona. Second inning, you went out to talk to the umpire after Moncada slid into third. What were you asking about?
Our replay guy saw their third base coach reach for him as he went third. I just wanted to see if he assisted. We were kind of reaching there. It was, I mean, I looked at it 6 times. I slowed it down. That would have been a hard call to get.
All right, Chase Burns was so good in his first 2 starts. Are you seeing anything different from him this time out?
He's fallen behind like a couple hitters. They've squared up a couple of his fastballs. He left one breaking ball up. Thankfully, the ball's not carrying tonight real good because they've hit about 3 balls right on the nose. But his stuff is fine.
Thanks, Tito.
All right, Heidi.
Josh Lowe pops this one up on the infield. This should be easy for the Gold Glover, Ke'Bryan Hayes, at third. 1 out. We talked to Terry Francona earlier about Burns and that third pitch. The changeup is something that he's working on. It's not necessarily refined yet. It's mostly fastball and slider for him. And he said as you get deeper into the games, you need that third pitch the third time through the order, especially. At least it would be nice to have it. As O'Hoppe stands in here with 1 out. How much does that give you confidence as a hitter facing a starting pitcher that only has really 2 pitches?
It becomes basically a set scenario, right? You can guess right at times. That's the thing about a guy that has 3 good pitches. You can't necessarily guess.
Hit hard by O'Hoppe, but grabbed by Hayes. And that throw good enough with Stewart holding the bag for the 2nd out.
Such a nice little play right there. Trusts his hands, gets behind the baseball. Time and time again, you see him being able to slow down the game. That's what good third basemen do. He's caught the hot corner for a reason. Bullets are flying at you, and you got to be able to slow it down. He does such a fine job with that.
Here's Adam Frazier, who drew a bases loaded walk earlier and takes ball 1. Only 2 changeups have been thrown by Burns tonight, 2 times through the order here on 60 pitches. So he has really just been fastball slider almost exclusively tonight.
Tito talked about it too, right? He's learning. He's still learning how to pitch. Yeah, we know we've seen 2 outings where he's been fantastic, but it's going to be a long season. He's got the stuff to be elite.
He's only thrown a first pitch strike to 10 of the 18 batters that he has faced. He's behind Frazier here, 2 balls and a strike. So kind of what Francona was talking about, falling behind and those sorts of things that gets Chase Burns into more trouble than what you typically see when he's right.
His last outing, just 1 walk, right? He was able to throw 87 pitches, 1 earned on 6 innings pitch. Why? Because he was commanding the zone. He was going right after the hitters. How many 3-1 counts have we not seen already in this start from him?
It's 3-1 right now, and Frazier takes ball 4. So that's 3 walks issued by Burns. First couple of outings, he had 3 walks in that opening start against the Pirates, but only allowed 1 hit. 1 run against the Rangers. He was much crisper then, striking out 9 with only 1 walk. Already 3 walks in 3 2/3 innings today, and already in the 3rd time through the order. Burns' career high in walks so far is 4, which came in Philadelphia last July. And he's behind Zach Neto. So now that's 19 batters faced and only 10 first pitch strikes. Neto grounded into a fielder's choice with the bases loaded earlier. Both of these teams leave a lot of men on base.
Yeah.
There have been 4 different occasions already this year where both teams have stranded at least 10 runners. The Reds have been the worst team in baseball with men in scoring position.
I talked to Chris Valleca, the hitting coach for the Cincinnati Reds, and says, you know, we got to continue to have opportunities. At some point, it's got to change. And Tito knows it's been wearing a little bit on him. Trying to get that big hit that just hasn't come. He knows it's a long season. It's going to happen at some point, but continue to have guys on base. Eventually, he'll turn. It's a good slider right there on a 2-0 count. A guy that loves to pull the fastball.
2 balls, 1 strike now on Neto. And he was out in front of that slider, so it's 2-2. Burns fighting it a little bit more tonight, making his 3rd start of the year.
Just seeing Tyler Stevenson too, not going with the fastball. Made an adjustment here. It's the one pitch he's been able to land more consistently.
Angels have had some 2-out traffic each of the last few innings. All of their hits with 2 outs tonight, plus a 2-out walk in this inning to Frazier. As Neto serves one out towards center, it's hit well. Friedel's back out. He's all the way to the wall. It's gone. Zach Neto goes to dead center, the deepest part of Great American Ballpark, to give the Angels a 4-0 lead. Home run number 5 for Neto, and that one was crushed.
10 home runs on pitches over 95 plus since 2025. One of the top premier shortstops in the game. Gets the fastball, stays short with it, and he knows it's gone as soon as it left his bat. Elite power, and when you're throwing him fastball over 95 miles an hour, more than not, he's going to make you pay.
Strike 1 to Trout, 417 feet, straightaway center field. And again, with 2 outs, the Angels get more offense. All 4 runs and 5 hits have come with 2 outs against Burns. Strike 2 to Trout. It was just 4 pitches for Burns to get the first 2 outs of this inning. Then the walk to the number 9 batter, which he pays for dearly.
Another 2-out hit.
Here's Trout lifting one to left center field. This one's hit deep. Friedel's back to the warning track. He's at the wall again and makes the catch. So Trout has had 2 deep flyouts tonight, but Zach Neto got everything he needed for a 2-run homer. Out to straightaway center field. The Angels in front 4-0 here in Cincinnati.
It's just another day. It's just another day in sunny California. Bag after bag, yeah, we getting to the money. Party all night with the stars to the morning. I'm a West Side veteran. You know the lettering.
Time for a Sage manager interview here with first-year manager Kurt Suzuki. Jack Kohanowitz, you talked before the game about how consistency is key for him. What are you seeing from him tonight?
Yeah, consistent, keeping the ball down in the zone. But I think the biggest thing for him is attacking. He's throwing strikes, he's forcing them to swing the bats, and when he does that and his ball's moving, it's a good day.
Tito just told me the ball is not flying tonight, but Neto was able to get one to straightaway center field. You said you've challenged him to be more of a leader on this team. How did you see that in him?
The confidence, he believes. He believes that he's one of the best players in the league. And when a guy's like that, I love that. I love that confidence, and, I want him to take on a bigger role and, challenge him to be that leader. He loves challenges, and, it's a good thing for him.
All right, thanks, Kurt.
All right, thank you.
Well, what a breath of fresh air Kurt Suzuki is as a major league manager. He talks about being a manager of empathy, and he discussed that quite a bit with a former teammate of his, Stephen Vogt, as De La Cruz grounds one to first base. Shonowell will handle that for the first out, but he really wants to treat these men like men. He doesn't really want to treat them like entities or just assets to what they're trying to do as a team. He wants these guys to have their own individual personalities and his own individual relationships with them.
And he's played with a lot of these guys, so he's been in the trenches with them. He knows what it takes. He knows what gets them going. High-end communicator.
One out as Sal Stewart stands in as he takes ball one. Did you ever play for a former teammate as a manager?
Not a manager, but a bench coach, Mark Kotsay. He was basically the second manager on that team.
Well, as many know, I do the Angels games usually with Mark Gubicza on the Angels broadcast, and you know, Gooby always says that he played for 3 different former teammates as managers.
That's awesome.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, an awkward swing at that by Stewart. 2 balls and 1 strike. You see Jack Kohanowitz, a much different looking pitcher in 2026 than 25.
He sure has been. Rarely see Sal Stewart on a 2-0 count swing like that.
Here's a ground ball to second base off the bat of Stewart as Frazier throws him out. 2 up, 2 down. Kurt Suzuki, who had a very long and distinguished playing career, 16 major league seasons, won a World Series with the Nationals in 2019, and he's been around the Angels the last few years as a special assistant, so he wasn't coming in cold by any means, and he was at the end of his career as an Angel too, so he just kind of stuck around the organization. Really a great story. A kid from Hawaii, wanted to play at Cal State Fullerton, rejecting a full ride scholarship to the University of Hawaii, as he said he wanted the challenge of playing against the best of the best. And that challenge continues now as a first-year big league manager for Kurt Suzuki after that long playing career came to an end a few years ago.
One of 8 new managers across the majors, first Hawaiian native to manage a big league game. It's important. It's a big deal.
1 strike on Eugenio Suarez, but an easy guy to root for. And
oh yeah.
In terms of what the Angels players think, he's an easy guy to play for. Two balls and a strike.
They get it, right? They understand this guy's been in it. He's been a starter. He's been an all-star. He's been a bench role guy. He's been a quiet coach, leader in a dugout. He knows when you're playing hurt. He knows when you feel good, and he knows when you're going through it.
He knows how to talk guys up, and doesn't Terry Francona have a lot of those attributes too? I mean, look at the career he's had now as a major league manager, over 2,000 wins. He's 11th on the all-time wins list. I mean, you're seeing in terms of age a juxtaposition in the managers, but in terms of their style, I don't know that they're all that much different, although Suzuki's style is still kind of
to be determined.
Right, as it's ongoing, learning his style just a couple of weeks in. But you could see a lot of the same things that Terry Francona has used to be successful. There's a pop-up from Suarez, and Jack Kohanowitz tonight has put together a real fine outing so far. He's outpitched the big prospect Chase Burns. 4 scoreless innings for Kohanowitz.
Uy.
I tried to say it wasn't going to center.
Knowing Zach Neto, and you know him probably better than I do, even you work off with him a lot in the offseason in Miami. As Nolan Shonowell leads off here in the 5th and rips one right up the middle, but De La Cruz in a good position for the out, one away. That having a mic'd up segment without Zach Neto saying a lot seems almost impossible.
I mean, you couldn't have said it any better than that.
This is a very talkative and confident and brash sometimes individual.
I saw him in the clubhouse. He couldn't stop talking. It's just, let's go hang out in the food room. Let's talk. I have to work. I have to do something. I'll see you later then.
One out as Soler takes ball one.
One of the elite players, not only just player, but the way he acts and the way he carries himself. He is a lot of fun to watch.
He's an excellent defender. He's become a very good offensive player, and he's starting to become a leader for this franchise. And he's still just 25 years old. And you mentioned, and I've said it too on Angels broadcast, I think, and you think, he's a top 5 shortstop in the major leagues. Here's a chopper to another big time shortstop as Ellie De La Cruz throws out Soler. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Michael Lorenzen from Southern California. There's Big Dave Parker, the Hall of Famer. He's with the Reds and the Angels near the end of his Hall of Fame worthy career. Of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates, where Parker did most of his great work. Spent some time with the A's too when they were really good in the 80s.
Brandon Phillips going to get inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame this year.
Certainly an incredible Cincinnati Red, Brandon Phillips. 1 ball, 1 strike on Moncada. He's been on base a couple of times tonight. A walk and a run scored, plus an RBI single.
I mean, when I was here, on the left was Brandon Phillips. And I was a rookie myself, and on the right I had Joe Morgan. Talk about second base play for the Cincinnati Reds in their time. Brandon Phillips, a Gold Glover. Joe Morgan was arguably the best.
And your locker was right next to Joe Morgan.
I was in between them.
Big leagues.
Those talks were a lot of fun early on when I would get to the field.
And number 8, of course, retired by the Reds. They've done a really good job here paying homage to their incredible history. And of course, the Big Red Machine, a huge part of that. 1990, their last World Series win, but this franchise goes back so long.
The oldest.
3 balls and 1 strike on Moncada. Try not to forget about those early days either. They've done a really good job wrapping their arms around the history and paying tribute to Pete Rose too where they can, including those 14 smokes, the 2 smokestacks with the 14 bats out there in right center field with 7 bats on each one. Ball 4 to Moncada, and he's been on base for now 3 times today. They are 14 bats. You can count them yourself. 2-out walk. Joe Morgan was a 20-50 guy 3 different times in his major league career with the Reds. Eric Davis did it a couple of times in the 80s when he was a bright young superstar for this franchise, and now Ellie De La Cruz has one of those seasons under his belt as well, as Joe Adell stands in here with 2 outs. It's a fly ball to right toward the right field corner. It's Benson moving near the line, and just enough room to make that catch in foul territory to end the inning.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Now, by now, most baseball fans have seen this viral Joe Adell picture from his third home run robbery of last Saturday's game. Kaylee Krause took the picture on an iPhone. She's a mother of 5 and a huge Angels fan. She told me it's been a crazy week, but she said the best part is all the kind, positive messages that she's gotten from the pic. The Angels invited the family to a game next homestand. Kaylee said her 7-year-old is beyond excited to meet some of his favorite players, and Joe told me he's going to make sure he takes care of them. Wayne?
Well, it was an awesome night for Joe Adell with those 3 home run robberies to begin with. And then you see about an hour or so after the game ends, that picture floating around as Spencer Steer drives one to straightaway center field. It's hit pretty well. Trout's all the way back, and he has just enough space near the fence to put that one away. 1 out here in the 5th, and now 10 in a row retired by Jack Kohanowitz. But then on top of it, Adell robs 3 homers in a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
And then you see this picture that might be one of the greatest moments in sports photography in baseball history. I mean, it was an incredible shot from behind Adell, standing there triumphantly with the baseball in his glove after that epic performance. And here's a fan taking a picture. Of course, these iPhones make it easy to be a bigger part of history than before.
He was a -1 player coming into the game and left a positive player coming out of the game. Just incredible. What a night. Saved 5 runs that day.
Well, Benson.
And the kid said, you know, I just want an autograph from one of the guys. And they said, no, we're going to do a lot more than just an autograph when they come out to the ballpark.
Yeah, definitely so. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1 on Benson. And as Heidi will detail, that glove is taking quite a journey from where he left it at Angel Stadium.
Yeah, Wayne, the glove is going to Cooperstown. The team heads to New York from here, so they are going to come and take the glove while he's in New York. He plays with a Wilson, so Wilson's already getting a new glove ready for him. He said he's not really emotionally attached to it, despite the success that he's had with the glove. In fact, he said he's got a backup with him at all times that he can play with if the new glove doesn't feel quite right. You know, some guys, they keep their glove for their entire career. Joe said he is so honored that he's going to have something in the Hall of Fame. It wasn't even a thought to not say yes to them.
Oh, man. That's cool. That is cool.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Benson. Josh Rowich and the gang at the Hall of Fame. They'll make a shorter trip from Cooperstown to New York City to grab that glove, but they would have come to Anaheim for it.
10 home run robberies since 2020. That's the most.
Well, he had 3 in one night. That guy bumped him up.
Bumped him up quite a bit, didn't it?
But Angel Stadium, it kind of plays for the home run robbery anyway. You have that very short wall in the right and left field corners.
I wish that all stadiums had that.
I know. It's reachable in every spot.
Good.
All 3 to Benson. Even here in Cincinnati, left field and left center, it's impossible to rob a home run here. But in Angel Stadium, there is no spot in the outfield where you can't rob one. Ball 4 to Benson. As Kohanowitz allows a base runner for the first time since Eugenio Suarez singled with nobody out in the 2nd inning.
If you're going to have any success against Kohanowitz, you got to see him up. Benson did a great job there laying off of everything down in the zone. Usually the 5th inning, 6th inning, that's where it can get dicey for Kohanowitz to see if these Reds teams take advantage of it.
Tyler Stevenson takes ball 1. Now Hoppy will go out just to make sure Kohanowitz gets that release point figured out.
One thing with Kohanowitz, he's one pitch away, right? We know about that sinker baller. We know about the changeup he's throwing. It doesn't matter if it's to lefties or righties. Over 50% of the time, the ball is put on the ground when he's pitching. The double play is always in order.
Certainly is. The Angels have led the major leagues in double plays each of the last 2 years. We'll take you around beautifully done Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati.
The new clock that Joey Votto presented.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Definitely so from one of the great modern Reds in Joey Votto. Count 1 ball, no strikes here on Stevenson. You kind of just throw away the numbers of last year for Kohanowitz when you want to make mention of any sort of trends or really anything that has had to do with Kohanowitz dating back to last season. He's so different now that you just can't even really consider that stuff as much. As Stevenson takes ball 2. He's a far cry from the pitcher that had the worst ERA in baseball last year.
He's just a different pitcher. I mean, the way it's coming out of the hand is different. Delivery is different. His pitches are different.
Ball 3 to Stevenson. A lot of it stemming from the difference in arm angle. He's raised that arm angle a bit.
Yeah.
And the pitch mix has followed suit with his arm angle. The count is 3 balls and no strikes on Stevenson here. That's out the knees for strike 1.
We asked Kurt Suzuki about it. He did some lab work, which most pitchers in the game today do. Figured out, hey, my arm angle is gonna go a little tick higher. I'm gonna get more velocity, more tilt on that sinker. My changeup's gonna do more action on it.
A couple of walks here, though, put him in some hotter water. As the Reds look to turn the lineup over to the number 9 batter, Hayes, batting with runners on first and second after back-to-back walks.
Let's break them out a little bit. In 2024 and 2025, look at the arm angle where it's at. 28 inches, 30 inches. How about now? 37 inches. What's going to happen when you get some of that? Well, you're going to have more action on your two-seamer. You're going to get more ground balls. You're going to have more whiff on the other stuff like the fastball. And certainly, we've seen that here today.
Hayes bounced out to third his first time. Good double play candidate if you are Jack Kohanowitz here. And you mentioned that with the ground balls. This is a guy who hits the ball on the ground a lot in Hayes.
Okada is kind of tight on that line too. There's a big hole on the left side of that field.
Two balls and no strikes. Hayes has hit into over 10 double plays each of the last 5 years. As we mentioned earlier, this is where the Reds have had their toughest time. Once they get men in scoring position, they've only hit 168 so far this year. There's a chopper foul toward third.
Surprising that he's swinging 2-0. A guy who's kind of lost it a little bit with command. This is where they've had troubles, right? Runners in scoring position, getting that big hit.
Two balls and one strike on Hayes. And that's over the outer part of the plate for strike 2.
The late action on that pitch. There's just nothing you can do with it.
The Reds have not had a game yet this year in which they've had more than 3 hits with a man in scoring position. They don't have any yet tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's off the plate for ball 3. So big moment here. The Reds have the top of the order next. Kohanowitz has already walked 2 in this inning. He's in danger of walking the 7, 8, and 9 batters consecutively to load him up for TJ Friedl. 3-2 pitch coming to Brian Hayes. And it's outside, ball 4. So Kohanowitz has gotten himself into a mess. Walking 7, 8, and 9 in the order. And now with the bases loaded, Mike Maddox will come to the mound.
Good time for a mound visit. Slow him down a bit. Let him know that he's 1 pitch away from it. 21 pitches in this inning already. And there's a time in a game where you get put in a situation like this, and this is one of the best guys if you're going to have a mound visit to kind of calm you down. He's seen it all.
He certainly has. Been a major league pitching coach since 2003, and he's had a long career as a pitcher before that as well. Of course, the brother of the great Greg Maddux. StatCast powered by Google Cloud as we see Friedel taking extra bases away from Trout earlier tonight.
He just gets a great jump on it. Sprint speed 23.5 per feet. Leaps and makes that catch. We've seen that many times from him. Here's the one thing in this situation though as well. Double play is pretty much out in order. He's got good wheels. So to turn it, it's got to be an absolute bullet at somebody for you to have any chance.
The Reds have only hit into 5 double plays so far this year. Friedel has not hit into 1 yet, and you're right, he's much tougher to double up than the previous batter, Hayes. There's ball 1.
Any fastball middle in and up, that's where he does his damage and counts like this.
Kolanowicz has not thrown many four-seamers tonight. Gets a bouncer here. It's Shotwell looking to throw home, but instead will get the shore out at first. Benson got a good jump off third. And with Kolanowicz kind of running in that direction, Shotwell thought it might be better to just take the shore out and give up the run.
And I would think so too in a situation like this. 4-0, you're up. You give up that run for an out. It's a high chopper. Benson was going on contact. Let's just get the out.
Kind of see Shotwell, or rather Kolanowicz, kind of get in the throwing lane too. And that coupled with Benson's speed made it just a better idea for Shotwell to take the second out of the inning. Now ball 1 to Matt McLean.
Here's a guy that's gotten up more on the plate using a heavier bat. He just looks a lot stronger. Had a great spring training.
Hasn't correlated his success yet in the regular season. Here's a bouncer to Neto. Should get the Angels out of the inning, and it does. So Kolanowicz walks 3 but gives up no hits. The Reds get 1 run, and the Angels still lead by 3.
With your studio update as we get you out to Baltimore for the O's and Giants. Our other game here on Apple TV. Top 3. Willie Adames with a solo shot to right center fields. His first of the year puts the Giants up 1-0. Wayne.
Well, the Giants certainly could use an infusion of offense as they have dropped to the bottom of the National League West to start the year, 5-8. Obviously, very early offenses really around the league for the most part. Yeah, we saw earlier about 8 or 9 teams have a team OPS above 700 right now. There's nobody's hitting.
No, usually it happens like that the first 2 weeks of the season.
It's been cold in the Midwest and the East Coast. There's a liner out to right field. Hit well, and that's gone. A home run for Josh Lowe. Well, both of his home runs now this season have come on Friday Night Baseball. He hit one 2 weeks ago in Houston. He hits a line drive homer here, and it's 5-1 Halos.
He just absolutely turns on that pitch. There's a lot of emotions on that young man right there. His brother playing for the Reds as well. It takes this fastball, inner third, gets on top of it. Boy, oh boy, that ball was absolutely crushed. On the line. That's got to feel really good.
I mentioned at the beginning of the night, Moncada and Lowe entering today hitting under 100. And they have gotten on base in 5 of their 6 plate appearances combined tonight. Lowe has 2 hits, including that home run now. Moncada's walked twice and has a base hit. Talking to Kurt Suzuki about the continuity of the lineup. He says he really trusts the track records early in the season and believe that guys like Moncada and Lowe are going to get there.
Right. So there was no need for any changes in the lineup. Let those guys play.
Played well tonight. Chase Burns continues to have a rough one here. Hoppy held his swing. It's 5 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks issued. And for Burns, against a team that leads the majors in strikeouts, only 2 punch-outs in this game.
It's all about command. He hasn't had it today.
There's a drive left center field. Back for it is Steer, but he does have room here. Hoppy just missed it. As Hoppy flies out. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Well, you mentioned Josh Lowe and Nathaniel Lowe. Their teams opposing one another here in Cincinnati. Their mother recently passed away. And for more on that, here's Heidi Watney.
Yeah, Wayne, this is the first meeting between Josh and Nate since their mom, Wendy, passed away after her 2.5-year battle with brain cancer. Both told me that they miss her. Josh said he feels her presence every day. Nate said as terrible as her battle with brain cancer was, it brought the family even closer together. The brothers talk all the time. Nate told me he wishes he could give more baseball advice to his brother, to which Josh said, of course I listen to him. He's older and probably wiser. Wayne?
Probably being, I think, the main word there, not taking it for granted. Although they were drafted in the same year, and Josh was a first-round pick. Nathaniel Lowe was not drafted until 12 rounds later. They were both drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays, and they came up through that system together for some time. There's a liner up the middle and a base hit for Frazier, as he's on base for the 3rd time tonight. So the Angels have another base runner with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Couldn't have been easy, though, to be brothers and coming up through the same farm system. The younger brother drafted way earlier than the older brother, and still have that kind of relationship.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking here how excited he must have been quietly, though, when his brother hit that home run. You're thinking, okay, I can't show my emotions, but man, it's got to mean the world when you got the brother doing his thing.
Well, Josh Lowe is a homer in front of his brother Nathaniel tonight, and it has virtually ended the night for Chase Burns, who comes out of the game here in the 6th. Chase Burns wanted here tonight after a couple of really electrifying starts to begin his season. We saw a lot of the opposite tonight. The Angels had a really good approach against Burns. And Zach Neto, who homered earlier, lofts a fly ball to left center against the new pitcher Connor Phillips, and that's the second out of this inning.
Connor Phillips pitched last Wednesday, 2 innings on 39 pitches out of Houston, Texas. 97-98. Nice sweeper as well to go with that. Opponents are only hitting 167. He's a guy that hopefully can get you 1 or 2 more innings.
2 outs with Mike Trout standing in. He takes ball 1. Phillips was actually part of the trade that sent Eugenio Suarez out of Cincinnati originally. And Suarez and Jesse Winker were dealt to Seattle. Phillips was the player to be named in that deal, along with Brandon Williamson, who is starting tomorrow for the Reds. Justin Dunn and Jake Fraley. Line to left by Trout, hangs up for Steer, and that ends the inning. Josh Lowe with a home run, his second of the year, in front of his brother Nathaniel, pointing up to the sky. After that one, the late mother Wendy, as Josh Lowe gives the Angels a 5-1 lead. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses. With Yonder Alonso and Heidi Wani, I'm Wayne Randazzo in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. Shining under the lights on this Friday night. Fairly warm spring night here in Cincinnati. The Angels offense certainly happy to have the warmer temps. Last time they were on the road, they played in 20-degree wind chills in Chicago. So the Angels are happy to be wearing the road gray pants, at least, with warmer weather.
Oh yeah, a rarity during this time of the year here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get weather-wise, especially in the middle of April. But it's a nice night here as the Angels lead 5-1. Ellie De La Cruz lines one to left center field. Low with a good jump, gets back and makes the catch. One out here in the 6th. Well, Sal Stewart has been off to a roaring start in his major league career. And for more on the man they call Salbert, here's Heidi.
Yeah, he's just 22 years old, and Reds president Nick Krall told me the team challenged him this offseason to improve his athleticism. He did just that. He dropped more than 20 pounds, improved his defense. Krall said he can play first, second, or third. They've been so impressed with him. They've slotted him right between Ellie De La Cruz and Gino Suarez because he's got speed, he's got an ability to get on base, and didn't see his speed there, but he's got an ability to not strike out, put the ball in play. They've been so impressed with him so far.
Well, he's had 3 quick at-bats tonight. He's 0 for 3, grounding out all 3 times. And the Reds have just had a tough time with Kohanowitz tonight, but You know, Salbert is a reference to Albert Pujols. That's pretty big praise for this 22-year-old first baseman.
All he's done in the minor leagues is hit. Once he got to the big leagues, all he's done as well is hit. Really good at bats, takes his walks, has more walks than strikeouts. The future is very bright here in Cincinnati for him.
1,200 OPS in the first 13 games. They'll get 0 for 3 tonight.
Leads all rookie in that category.
Certainly the front runner for rookie of the year. Here's Eugenio Suarez, who lines one to shallow left field and has another hit. He's the only Red with a hit tonight. He's had both singles against Jack Kahanowitz.
Took a fastball for a hit. His previous at bat the other way. Now gets a breaking ball, stays on it just enough. Just enough right there. That's a good swing right there.
Heidi mentioned Stewart batting between De La Cruz and Suarez, the cleanup hitter in this Reds lineup. The first Reds rookie to start opening day in the cleanup spot in franchise history. And that's really saying something with this franchise lineage. First time any big leaguer's done it since Scott Rowland, who had his own time here in Cincinnati, did it as a Philly when he was a rookie in 1997.
He's been as impressive as any rookie in some time.
2 balls, no strikes on Spencer Steer batting with 2 outs. Suarez at first. Jack Kahanowitz has had an impressive 9. Only run came in thanks to 3 straight walks in the 5th inning. And a ground out by Friedel drove in the only Cincinnati run. Kahanowitz was good in his last start too against the Mariners. Worked 5 2/3 innings in that game without allowing a run. So this is back-to-back good performances for Jack. That should get him through the 6th. Neto with the pick. The flip to second. Kahanowitz continues to roll along. 6 innings, 1 run on 2 hits for the big right-hander.
Yeah, we got it like that. Kick drum, hit your whole body go crack. The baseline move, take it off of the map. We rock crowds every time we react.
Been a good night for the Angels so far. They've hit a couple of home runs. Zach Neto to straightaway center field. Josh Lowe has punched 1 out. They put up 5 runs, 7 hits on Chase Burns, chasing him out of the game in the 6th inning. Burns also walked 4 tonight. And Shonowell takes ball 1 from Connor Phillips. On the other side, Jack Kahanowitz has been tremendous. Only 2 hits allowed, both singles. He's given up just 1 run in 6 innings.
He's been fantastic. No, his misses have been the right misses. Not missing over the plate much. That heavy sinker, that changeup has been really, really good today.
Kolanowitz bidding for what would be his second win of the year. I mentioned that good outing he had last time against Seattle. Well, that was in the game where Joe Adell robbed those 3 home runs, so he was able to keep one in the park thanks to Adell, and the other 2 after he came out of the game, but helped him lock down the win.
That would be a dream if they take him out, right? His last outing, 86 pitches as well.
Looks like they're going to let him go back out for the 7th.
Yeah, right? I would do the same.
Let's see anybody up in the Angels bullpen right now down in the right field corner. See Jordan Romano peeking through to see what's happening in the game. That's it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Shonowell leading off the 7th inning. He's 0 for 3 today.
And those are things we're learning right now with Kurt Suzuki, right? It's seeing what's in front of him. Maybe a lot of managers would just go to the bullpen in the 7th inning, but in front of him, the game is telling him that he should stay in the game. That's a good 4-seamer right there. Just freezes Shonowell up. Not much you can do right there with that pitch.
1 out, and Jorge Soler will be the batter. A double and a run scored. We were talking about Shonowell earlier, and it seems like he's still searching for the right identity as his offensive profile.
Yeah, he came in right being a pure hitter, gap to gap guy, getting the right pitches, doesn't strike out much. And it usually takes 2 or 3 years to figure out who you are as a player in the big leagues. Are you going to be that powerhouse guy in a corner infield, or are you going to be the guy that's just sprays the ball around and kind of gets everybody else going in that lineup? Still to be determined.
Shonowell always says he gets compared to older players a lot, and when he's going right, he reminds me a lot of Mark Grace. You know, I grew up in Chicago, so I saw Mark Grace play every day, and he was that line-to-line hitter, not a big home run hitter for a first baseman. He won Gold Gloves. And Soler takes ball 2, but he was a routine 300 hitter. He would hit his 12 to 15 home runs, and he was very helpful in that Cubs lineup, just getting a lot of base hits, spraying it around the field. Shonowell can be that guy, or he can even be the guy that does load up and hit 20 home runs, but has to sacrifice the average for it. I think the main point, though, is that he needs to just kind of pick a lane and go with it.
Yeah, who you're going to be. You can't be too hybrid. You got to be one or the other. It's very hard to be hybrid, right? That becomes an elite player. You want to be that, you got to know who you are first. Boy, you look at Phillips. That's a nasty slider right there, sweeper. Going with 100 miles an hour. Picked up his first save earlier this year. Been pretty good so far.
Strike 2, Moncada, who's been on base 3 times.
The problem is the corner infield in today's game, they want the 20, the 25 home runs. They don't want the guy that hits necessarily 270, 275 with 6 or 7 home runs, right? They want the guy that's going to drive in runs. They want the guy that's going to, you know, slug as well, high OPS. They don't necessarily just call for a guy like, per se, Arias, right, who's going to put the ball in play, not strike out, play adequate defense. They want more. I don't blame them. I was the same way.
1 ball, 1 strike on Moncada as he takes ball 2. Arias also doesn't really play a position. I mean, he's not a great defender anywhere. Shonowell has at least locked down being a decent defender at first base. Shonowell barely had any time in the minor leagues too, so he's still evolving his approach. Yeah, really none. About 40 minor league games. So even though it's his 3rd year in the big leagues, it's really with very little pro experience overall. So there's still a big ceiling there for Shonowell, just a matter of reaching it at some point. Here's Moncada sending one toward left center field. Friedel dives for it as it bounces by him, and it's an extra base hit. Moncada around second base. He's looking at third. Here comes the relay. It's bounced in, and Moncada has a triple. And with 2 outs, TJ Friedel laid out for a ball that he really wasn't close to. And Yohan Moncada makes it all the way around the bases for his first triple this year.
Or once you see him run, and Friedel dives for that ball in that long part of the gap, with 2 outs right there. Moncada did not hesitate. Once he saw that happening, look at the wheels. Touches the bags the right way, and then just a little belly flop to go with it. That's gotta feel not so great. Oh, great dive and a smile. What just happened?
Moncada's been on base 4 times tonight.
He's definitely going to hear about it in the dugout at some point.
With 2 outs, the Angels have scored most of their runs tonight with 2 outs. Just one exception on the low home run in the 6th. There's a 2-out triple in this 7th inning against Phillips.
6 hits with 2 outs.
That certainly helps keep the line moving. And the Angels have taken advantage of that here tonight, scoring 4 times with 2 outs and a chance for another here. Moncada at third base. Adell's flied out to the warning track a couple of times tonight. So has Trout. A few more feet on some of these fly balls that Adell and Trout have hit. The Angels would have an even bigger night going offensively. They've come through with men in scoring position, whereas once again the Reds have not. Breaking ball had Adell out in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And one final from earlier today. The Pirates didn't have a hit until the 7th inning, but they got enough hits in the 7th. Brian Reynolds hit a home run. They beat the Cubs at Wrigley 2-0. 3-2 the count. Should be an interesting NL Central. The Cubs were a playoff team last year. The Brewers ended up running away with the division in the second half.
Cardinals are playing much better. This Pirates team is
spent a little money too. So it'll be an interesting division in Central. The Reds certainly a big part of that. Adell didn't like that call, but he goes down looking, which ends the top of the 7th. A triple from Moncada, but he's left at third, and it's time to stretch at Great American Ballpark. It's set for a packed weekend of Major League Soccer kicking off tomorrow. South Korean icon Son Heung-min, German scoring legend Thomas Müller, and the GOAT Lionel Messi line up for a full slate of showdowns. Coverage starts 1 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Apple TV. Will Benson leading off here in the bottom of the 7th. Oswald Peraza, the new third baseman for the Angels, defensive replacement for Marcano, was on base 4 times tonight, including a triple in the last inning. That's Jack Kohanowitz back out for the bottom of the 7th.
Peraza, great defensive third baseman, can play all over the infield.
Strike from Kohanowitz, still 96 on that fastball here in the 7th.
I would think he's still out there with 87 pitches to start this inning. This is the first of 13 straight games for the Angels, so they'll take it.
Soft bouncer, we've seen a lot of those tonight. Adam Frazier has this one away. Pitching decisions presented by Sage. It's been the sinker ball.
Yeah, it sure has been. I mean, that sinker has been at this play. He's thrown some good changeups as well, but how many ground balls have we not seen today from these Reds hitters? Why? It's because of that action on the sinker. A lot of them.
48% usage of the sinker tonight. The changeup has been used quite a bit as well. Not as much with the 4-seam fastball, but he's been mixing that in a lot more this year than what we saw before.
I've just seen the reaction from the hitters. It's been a late sinker, late movement, and you know, the misses has been what's been impressed me the most.
There's a pop-up. This should stay in play. We'll see down the right field side. Adele moving after it. Makes the catch right near the tarp. A little bit of contact, but he is able to hang on, and that's the second out here in the 7th.
Where have the misses been, right? It's always down in the zone. Take a look at Adele's catch here. A lot of variables. You got the net, you got the fans, you got the wall. Oh, and then you got a tarp to deal with that as well.
Well, that's child's play after what he did the other night.
Right? Kohanowitz loves it.
2 outs. Really interesting about the 4-seamer. There's a strike to Hayes. He hasn't needed it tonight because, as you said, the Reds batters have showed that the sinker is what plays in this lineup.
Sure has been. This Reds team, even to start the year, right? Not many home runs, not many fly balls. I know they faced some good pitching. Started off with Pittsburgh, then the Rangers, and obviously the Marlins with that great staff they have, but
fly ball right center. Trout with a good jump, angles back on the track, makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 in the 7th for Jack Kohanowitz. It's been a breakout performance for him here tonight. On Apple TV is presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. Our Goodyear drone takes us over the Ohio River here in Cincinnati. Pitcher in there for the Reds, lefty Sam Maul is in the game, facing Josh Lowe. Hit a home run his last time. That was the Roebling Bridge right here in Cincinnati.
Sinker, sweeper, changeup. That's where you're going to see. Made his last appearance on Wednesday against the Marlins. 2 1/3. No hits, no runs.
The check swing roller. It is up the third base side along the chalk, but foul.
You got to make sure you get that as soon as it goes foul. Usually the lines here are somewhat tilted to go more into the fair territory.
One ball, one strike. That Roebling Bridge here in Cincinnati, very similar to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
Same guy built it, John Roebling. Or designed it.
There we go.
Like he was up there knocking in all those bricks, but he was the architect for it. One ball, one strike on Josh Lowe. 2 hits today. The Angels need Lowe and they need Moncada, and both have had success tonight. Lowe whiffs on the breaking ball from Maul.
Turned on a fastball on Burns for a home run on the first pitch he saw.
Two balls, 2 strikes, the count.
I'm intrigued if Jack Kohanowitz is going to go back out there for the bottom of the 8th.
There's no one throwing right now. Pomeranz had been up in the Angels bullpen. Kohanowitz at 95 pitches. He's been excellent in 7 innings today. He looks like he's ready to go back out.
Yeah, he sure does.
All left-hander have been good in the Reds bullpen over the last few years. 3-2 the count. Reds have pitched really well. And both of these teams' bullpens have been good to start the year, and both kind of with similar formulas. They've walked a lot of hitters, but they've kept the ball in the ballpark so far in the first couple of weeks. So the ERAs have been pretty low for both the Reds and the Angels out of their pens. Low with a pop-up here, shallow left as De La Cruz goes out. And has it for the first down. Our Adobe standout scores tonight include Zach Neto drilling one 417 feet to straightaway center field. 2-run shot from Neto, and here's the home run that Josh Lowe hit as well in the 6th inning.
Just turns on that fastball in the first pitch. Just a short, beautiful swing by Lowe. You mentioned Suzuki. He wants their starting pitchers to go as deep as possible. Even though it's early in the season, he doesn't want to baby them.
7 innings tonight for Kohanowitz. Longest start by an Angel so far was Jose Soriano's 8 innings in his last start against Atlanta. Soriano will pitch the Sunday game here in Cincinnati against Andrew Abbott for the Reds. Tomorrow it'll be George Clausen against lefty Brandon Williamson. Hall took a long walk after missing with that pitch. Now 3-0 on Ohapi.
I think with Suzuki too, it's a message within a message, right? Keep him out there. Let the rest of that starting staff let him know, hey, if it calls for it, I don't care about the pitch count. We want you out there.
Just makes the bullpen more effective too at the end of the day.
Absolutely. For a long season like this, look, they're about to play 13 straight games. The game in front of you is telling you you've got to keep them for another 10 pitches, 12 pitches in the inning, because that's how he's been so far. He's been cruising.
Well, now walk to Ohapi brings up Frazier, who's had a good night. 2 walks, a single, and a run batted in for the number 9 batter. Frazier and Oswald Peraza have traded off games at second base. Angels will head to New York after this series. They'll play 4 with the Yankees next week before they return home to play the Padres and the Blue Jays. 2 balls and no strikes. Sort of an uneven start for Toronto so far this year. They lead Minnesota tonight 6-4.
Is there such thing as a hangover?
Well, it could have had a tougher loss in the biggest game ever, right? Game 7 of the World Series. That one will stick in their craw forever north of the border. 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes. You think about the Red Sox in 1975 in the World Series, went 7 toe-to-toe with the Big Red Machine. Came out on the wrong end of it, and the Reds won again the next year, and the Red Sox curse continued for the next almost 30 years.
Yeah.
There's a strike, and it's 3-1. And Alejandro Kirk's a big loss for them. Broken thumb. Blue Jays went on a 5-game losing streak the second that Kirk broke his thumb.
A lot of injuries in the starting rotation as well.
3-2 on Frazier. Patrick Corbin, for that matter, starting for the Blue Jays tonight because of those injuries that Yonder mentioned. Rays lead the Yankees tonight 3-2. As Yainer Diaz has a home run for Tampa Bay. A red hot start for him. He's hitting .380 to start the year. Runner going, and it's ball 4. So back-to-back walks. We'll get it to the top of the order, and we'll send it down to Heidi.
Well, you mentioned the Red Sox cursed. They were cursed until Terry Francona got there. He has led 3 different teams to the postseason the first year he was there. The Red Sox in 2004, Cleveland in 2013, and Cincinnati, of course, last year. Tito told me his biggest fear is to be playing out the string in September. Last year, the team had just been swept by the A's on September 14th. Tito called a meeting and said, don't get down. We still have a chance to pop champagne. Team turned it around. They won 6 of their next 7 games. They did, in fact, pop champagne and make it to the postseason.
On the same hand, he wants them to remember how it felt having that postseason end as quickly as it did against the Dodgers. Pitching change here for the Reds in the 8th. Just added to the roster today, delivers ball 1 to Zach Neto at a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Neto has 5 home runs already on the year. The Angels have hit a bunch to start the season. 17 home runs now for this team, including the 2 tonight.
Nicholas from Ohio, about 4 hours away from Great American Ballpark. Pitching at home.
Sounds like 4 hours away. Might be closer to Cleveland Guardian territory as Neto fouls one off. The Angels have now overtaken the Astros for the most home runs in the American League by a team.
Compare the 2 shortstops here tonight, Neto and Ellie, what they bring to the table, and a lot of people would pick a guy like Ellie, but
liner to left and a base hit for Neto. That's his 2nd hit tonight, and that loads the bases. So the Angels not done yet with a 5-1 lead, looking to bust it open, and it will be Mike Trout batting with 3 men aboard.
He gets a pitch at the top of the zone here. Seems Zach already get that fastball for a home run today. Here's Mike Trout.
Trout is 0 for 4 tonight, but 3 of his outs have come on balls hit over 100 miles an hour. Looking for one that can break through with the bases loaded. Trout takes a strike on the outside corner.
That's what Kurt Suzuki was talking to us, right? He's just right there. He's barreling up balls, swinging at the right pitches.
Tonight's been the best example of it, as he's now 2 for his last 33. But those peripheral numbers certainly tonight stand out. Always great with the bases loaded in his career. Trout has 6 career grand slams, although 4 of those were hit within the first few years of his career. 1 ball, 1 strike on Trout. He takes ball 2. He does have one pretty special moment in this ballpark. He was the All-Star Game MVP here in 2015.
He homered.
He homered to start the game. It was a leadoff home run that he hit off Zach Greinke that night, as Trout became the first player in Major League history to win the All-Star MVP in back-to-back years. 2-1. And that's a high strike for the second strike. 2-2 as that breaking ball just clipped the top of the zone.
Very careful with him at the top of the zone.
If it leaks down into the middle of the plate at all, he's going to crush it. 2-2, 1 out, bases loaded. And Trout takes ball 3 up and in.
That's what he's done, right? He's not chasing as much this year. He's getting more walks because of it.
Angels have him full here in the 8th. And 3-2 to Trout is ball 4. So Trout takes the bases loaded walk. That's 2 for the Angels tonight, and their lead is now 6-1. That's 3 walks in the inning from 2 different pitchers.
7 walks for the Reds tonight.
Mike Trout was the All-Star MVP in 2014 and 15. This was the first one at Target Field in Minnesota. Had a double, triple, and a couple RBIs in that game. And then right here in Cincinnati, 2015, starting the game with that home run to right field off of Greinke. Scoring another run later in the game. Trout winning that award for the 2nd straight year, the only player to be All-Star Game MVP in back-to-back years. Here's Shonowell as he takes a strike right on the very edge of the plate. He wants to look at it. It looked like that it did have just a little bit of the edge of the corner. Angels challenge powered by T-Mobile. Shonowell has not been very good at these challenges. He's challenged a handful, and I don't think he's won any of them. And he's not winning this one.
The pitch is a strike.
They're done with challenges.
It's a little less meaningful right now with a 5-run lead, but it could come into play later. Still a couple of defensive innings left for the Angels to try to hold this lead. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Infield's playing somewhat in a situation like this. Hard ball hit at anybody.
2 balls and 1 strike. Mentioned the Reds bullpen especially has walked a lot of hitters this year. Walked way more than their starters have. The walks have been split up tonight. Burns walked 4, and now the bullpen has walked 3. 2-2 the count on Shonowell.
Boy, he took a shot there, didn't he? With that swing. Helmet came off.
Swung and foul tip for strike 3. So big out there for Nicholas. It's the 2nd out of the inning. Shonowell 0 for 5 now tonight. Still 1 more out left to get as Soler will be the batter.
That's a good fastball at the top of the zone right there with some ride on it. Just a hair tardy.
Reds are in danger of a third straight loss. They were 8-3 to begin the year. They fall to 8-6 though after losing the last 2 in Miami. So they're at a big cut. Marlins are in Detroit tonight. And they just were shut out by the Tigers 2-0. 4 Tiger pitchers combining for that shutout. Although the worst news of the day in Detroit was Parker Meadows having a concussion and a broken arm after his collision with Riley Green yesterday.
Needed some stitches.
And a few stitches in the cheek too. Yes. One ball, one strike on Soler. Was a double and a run scored tonight. Good job by Stevenson to keep that one from going to the backstop.
Soler took a really good hack on that fastball. He saw he might get another one here.
Got one, but way outside. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. The Reds have already walked in 2 runs tonight.
This is where Soler has a selfish at bat. If it's right there, we're not trying to get a base hit. We're trying to drive them all in.
It's 3-1. And Soler crushes one. Left center and long gone. It's a grand slam shot out of a cannon by Jorge Soler.
Took a fastball. It was a selfish at bat. He wanted to bring them all in. We know about the power. We know about the fastball he took that he just fouled off. Well, he got another one and he didn't miss it. This just sounded different. Oh.
That gives Soler 15 RBIs now in his first 14 games this year. That's his 4th home run, and that is a massive bat. And the Angels are going to miss whenever that suspension starts. It is 10-1 now. This is Oswald Peraza's first plate appearance today. 2 of the runs in this inning charged to Maul, thanks to the 2 walks. The other 3 on Nicholas. 418-foot rocket of a grand slam from big Jorge Soler.
When he hits them, they just sound different, don't they? Man. You could just sense it. Like he was going out there not to just spray a ball the other way. No, no, no. This was a 6-1 ball game in the 8th inning. This becomes a more selfish at bat. If I get another cookie like that, I can't miss it. He did not miss it.
He's now tied with C.J. Abrams and Drake Baldwin for the most RBIs in the major leagues. Third homer for the Angels tonight. 2 of them have been absolute bombs. And there's another walk, so Peraza gets on base, and the Reds pitchers battle with the strike zone tonight has put them in these messy situations that the Angels batters have taken advantage of.
Could we see a position player?
Oh, Kurt Suzuki has not been in a position like this yet, so team ahead usually doesn't do it as often as the team behind. The Reds could certainly do that if they feel is the right case. But I'm good on that. I don't need to ever see that again.
No, I'm with you.
I think that has ended the night for Jack Kohanowitz.
That's it.
It looked like he was about to go back out for the 8th inning, but with this onslaught of offense, now a bigger lead, the Angels will shut him down for the rest of the night. Dell gets thrown out to end the inning, but Jorge Soler puts this one out of reach in grand fashion. Now tied for the big league lead in runs batted in. That ball was annihilated. Angels 10, Reds 1. Copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Raisel Iglesias is still one of the top closers in all of baseball. There's Frank Robinson, the Hall of Famer. What an incredible career he had that touched both of these franchises. Of course, breaking in with the Cincinnati Reds, two-time MVP. As he won that award first with the Reds in 1961 and then the Orioles. He was the first player until Shohei to win the MVP in both leagues. Mitch Ferris is the new pitcher for the Angels. They'll like to see him just get these last 6 outs here and call it a day with a 10-1 lead. Bryce Teodosio is now in center field, which gets Trout off his feet. There's a pop-up from TJ Friedl, who has the only RBI for the Reds tonight. And Adam Frazier has that one out.
Mitch Ferris made his major league debut last year versus Kansas City on September 2nd. 4-pitch mix, 4-seamer, changeup, cutter, slider. Out of Wingate University.
A Division II program. They've not had a lot of big leaguers come out of Wingate.
One of 4 players all time.
Ferris only the second pitcher of that group, and really the first starter. Alvin Mormon was the only other pitcher to make it to the major leagues out of Wingate. He was a reliever. Ferris has had a few starts under his belt, pitching out of the bullpen now. Again, trying to just get these last 6 outs with a big lead.
Tough to pick up, huh? Little quirky.
Got a good changeup. This one's popped up to the right side. Shonowell is over, has some room, and has it. 2 up, 2 down. Keanu Reeves stars in the new film Outcome, a dark comedy about a beloved Hollywood star who must dive into the depths of his hidden demons to save his image and career. Directed by Jonah Hill, also starring Cameron Diaz. Outcome is now streaming on Apple TV. De La Cruz pretty deep out to the wall. Adele, it's gone. And De La Cruz gives the home fans something to cheer about, an opposite field home run. And the Angel lead is now 10-2. Something quite a souvenir off of De La Cruz's bat.
That's his second home run this year, going the opposite field from the right side. That's a good sign. You're the Cincinnati Reds. Taking a fastball right there, stays behind it. Well, that ball just shot out of his barrel.
Fourth home run for De La Cruz ties him with Sal Stewart for the team lead. Together they have half of the Reds' homers. As you said, the more he can do from the right side, the more complete of a player he'll be.
That's what we've seen so far earlier this year.
Breaking ball in from Ferris to Stewart. 2 balls and 1 strike. And 3-1 and Stewart is 0 for 3 tonight.
This is what is impressive about him, right? It's a 10-2 ball game. Young hitter, still trying to swing at the right pitches, not giving up at bats.
A walk, so Stewart gets on with 2 outs. Stewart seems okay after he was stepped on here by Joe Adell on a play at first base at the end of the top of the 8th.
I've been there before. It's never fun. He's such a big bag, you would think you have all the space in the world. He wasn't too thrilled about it.
He's still kind of walking a little with maybe a little bit of a limp, but with 10-2 here, he's going to get taken out of this game for a pinch runner at first base. Strike call to Suarez. A good start to the season for Stewart. It's Nathaniel Lowe that has gone in the game to take over for Stewart. What was your reaction when you get stepped on?
Not fun. Not fun at all. And it's even tough when you see him coming, right? Because that player was right in front of him. Sees Adele coming in hot. Obviously, we're using bigger bags too.
Bigger bases didn't help that time for Stewart. He had a ball earlier in the year. It might have even been the first game or 2 of the season when Roman Anthony had a line drive that looked like it almost knocked his wrist off. He was able to play through that. And Suarez strikes out to end the 8th inning. Elly De La Cruz with a home run makes it 10-2 in favor of the Angels.
Apple TV studio update. Out to Milwaukee we go for the Brew Crew and the Nats. Bottom one, Jake Bauers with a 2-out, 3-run shot to the second deck, his third of the season. Puts the Brewers up 3-2, same score in the sixth win.
The Brewers in their State Connect jersey with the Wisconsin pride. One ball, one strike on Josh Lowe, leading off here against P.J. Higgins, who is the backup catcher, with Trevino out for the Reds. Trevino has a back injury right now.
Should we talk about his arsenal?
His arsenal is to just get through this as quick as possible. 2-2, and a swing and a miss there from Josh Lowe, with his brother Nathaniel now watching from first base after staying in the game. And they struck him out.
He's going to keep that ball. He gets a good laugh about it. Tell you what, it's more uncomfortable for a hitter than it is for a pitcher to face a positional player.
For whatever it's worth, although it's worth nothing now because the Angels don't even have a challenge, but you cannot challenge if a position player is pitching. As a hoppy pops out to De La Cruz. 54 on the radar gun to put away Josh Lowe.
I mean, it was coming in hot. Changeup.
Yeah, they got the horizontal and vertical break on there too.
Elite.
Frazier has been on base 4 times tonight. He's walked 3 of those times, scoring twice and also bringing home a run. This is maybe the most uncomfortable the Angels have looked offensively all night. They were pretty locked in from the get-go. As Frazier pops this one up. Friedel has that, which sends us to the bottom of the ninth. Well done by P.J. Higgins. It's a big hand for his 1-2-3 inning. Can't laugh at your brother when a catcher strikes him out, can you? Season with the Apple Sports app. Get real-time scores and play-by-play straight to your iPhone lock screen. Fast and simple. Download the Apple Sports app for free on the Apple App Store today. It's a whole new collection of City Connects for 2026, including the Reds all-red uniform that they will break out for the first time tomorrow. I don't think they'll ask P.J. Higgins to pitch tomorrow, though he got through his inning just fine tonight.
Well, let's hope.
Angels have put up a 10-2 outburst here tonight as Spencer Steer leads off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Both of these offenses have had their squabbles to start the year. The Reds have continued theirs tonight, but the Halos finally breaking out with a 5-run 8th inning on top of hitting 3 home runs tonight. Been one of the better offensive performances this year from them. There's a little roller off the bat of Steer. Frazier gets to it and throws him out, 1 away.
A game like tonight for the Angels offense just kind of eases everybody, puts everybody, not that they were on edge or there was any anxiety, but it just relaxes everybody, and now they can just play the game of baseball. Definitely a great pitching performance, great defense performance, and this offense really woke up.
Here's Noelvi Marte coming on as a pinch hitter for Benson. These two teams will play late tomorrow afternoon. George Clausen getting his second big league start for the Angels against the lefty Brandon Williamson. Clausen, another young pitcher with a big arm. Marte out in front of that changeup. That's the bread and butter pitch really for Ferris. Ferris put on a little muscle in the offseason. He's throwing his fastball harder. He should only make that changeup in theory better.
It's usually what happens when you gain some muscle in the offseason. You start throwing harder. It opens up a different place where you can go with hitters. A lot more fastballs at the top of the zone. Makes that changeup even more elite.
A strike 3 called to Marte, so Ferris gets the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th.
Josh, six swing, boy. Hey.
Still think we're not getting the full Zach Neto experience here tonight.
I don't think so either.
That was a little more.
Trust me, I see him in the offseason every day. 8:30 in the morning, it feels like it's 4 o'clock the way he's talking.
4 o'clock in the morning or 4 in the afternoon?
Afternoon.
Could go either way.
He is turning himself into a not so much of the rah-rah leader, but just a leader overall. Posts every day, and he's a lot of fun to watch when he's in the box.
Balls, 2 strikes. Angels will get back to 500 with this win. They'll be 7-7. Reds will fall to 8-6 with 3 straight losses after an 8-3 start. An 8-3 start for the Reds was their best since the 1990 championship team. And so many ebbs and flows in the course of a long season. The Reds got hot toward the end of the season last year to get past the Mets for that last wild card spot. I mean, only an 83 win team last year, but that was enough to get to drink some champagne after the last game of the season, as Stevenson has a 2-out hit. But as Terry Francona said, he just wants to keep that arrow pointing up, keep that trajectory forward for this team.
That's why he took the job here, is to get better, and they feel like the window is now. It's just opening up for this Reds team.
Brian Hayes bats here with 2 outs. Stevenson only the 4th hit for the Reds tonight. 2 of them off the starter, Kohanowitz. He was excellent in his 7 innings tonight, allowing just 1 run on the 2 hits. And Mitch Ferris has picked up the last 5 outs. Trying to get this last one to end it for the Halos. 0-2 with the changeup missed by Hayes.
they're expecting the starting pitching to get healthier too, right? For the Cincinnati Reds. Lodolo, Hunter Green, at some point they'll be back. You just gotta hit.
It'll still be a while for Green, but Lodolo should be back sooner than later with the blister issue. That's why Chase Burns is getting a longer look here at the beginning of the year. Burns had been really good his first 2 starts, not as much tonight. Hayes with a fly ball to right center. Teodosio got a great jump coming in, dives, and he makes the catch to end the ball game. Well, from start to finish, it was all Angels tonight as they pulled off a 10-2 victory here in Cincinnati.
Just a really good catch. You called it. From start to finish, they were outstanding. Big grand slam by that man right there in Soler. Neto also with a huge homer. How about Jack Kohanowitz? 7 innings pitched, 2 hits on 95 pitches, 11 groundouts for the night. That sinker was a dandy.
All told, a fairly easy win for the Angels tonight. Broke it open late with that Soler grand slam. Josh Lowe hit one of the 3 home runs from the ball club as well. And Bryce Teodosio, who in a very short time last year ended up among the top 10 in defensive center fielders, showed why he's capable of that with his great play to win the ball game.
There was no hesitation, huh? He saw it, he read it, he broke in on it. Full dive. Yeah, everybody likes it.
(10-2) the final. Zach Neto contributed with a 2-run homer, a single, and a run scored as well. He's standing by with Heidi Watney.
Zach, you have a penchant for hitting home runs off of heat. You did it again tonight on a night where the ball wasn't traveling early on. How were you able to muscle that one out of here?
Just sticking to my approach. You know, I got a nice little lift in this morning, and you know, all the guys saying the wind wasn't blowing out to center, and you know, I shut them up for sure. But you know, it's just a little joke. You know, like I said from when we first met, like we're just having a bunch of fun in here, and no matter down, up, you know, we're just gonna keep playing for each other, and you know. Didn't start the game. I didn't want to start the game how I wanted to, and you know they kept picking me up, and you know got a big hit.
Your manager Kurt Suzuki told me he's challenged you to be more of a leader. What kind of confidence does that give you?
It's a lot. You know, he's told me since the first day he's met me that you know I'm the leader of this team, and you know everybody looks at Mike and you know everybody else, and you know he says that he sees me, and you know just be able to see that confidence in him, you know, in me. Knowing that every single step I do out there, you know, somebody's watching, and I just got to make sure that I keep staying the course and, you know, keep being the person that I am, and that's when we win ball games.
Well, speaking of Mike, you had your second straight 2020 season last year, a first for an Angels shortstop. What have you learned from Trout, a guy who's had a couple of those seasons himself?
Just slowing the game down every single day, not trying to do too much, you know, do the boring stuff. You know, that's pretty much the motto of this game. You know, once you kind of simplify everything, then you make everything nice and easy and let the game come to you. I think that's the most important thing.
How about the job for your pitcher, Jack Kohanowitz, tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we tell him all the time, the more ground balls to us, the better. You know, you'll go longer in the game, and you know he had his thing moving. You know, he kept those sinkers down out of the barrel for them, and that's a really good lineup. And be able to hold him to a couple hits, I think it's pretty special. You know who he is. Just hopefully he keeps it going, and you know he's been pitching very well.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Thank you, guys.
Angels pull off a 10-2 win tonight against the Reds, opening up this series in Cincinnati. Zach Neto, one of the stars for the Angels tonight, with a 2-run homer, 10 runs, 10 hits, and a well-pitched performance by Jack Kohanowitz. We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment.